Hello, everyone. I've got a very special guest today. She is from Sydney, Australia, and her name is Heinna Reyes.
Hello, hello.
So, welcome. How are you today?
Doing good. It's morning here, so I'm loving it. So got the day going already, so that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. You're waking up to a bright, wonderful day, and here
Yeah.
it is 3:30.
Oh, well, that's
3:30-ish
it.
in the afternoon. So it's quite the
Midday.
time. It's quite the time change. So I want to
Yeah.
thank you for coming on my podcast. I'm really
Yes.
looking forward to you sharing your story, because I really feel that a lot of people are going to resonate with what you have to say. So let's get right into it. So just, tell people a little bit about yourself, and from there you can go right into your story.
Yes, yes. Hello, hello, everyone. My name is Hina. Of course, coming in, just want to let everybody know. I know it's said you can say it differently, but it's definitely spelled differently. So when you see it, you're like, how do you say her name? But mainly, I am a mother of three. I am also a business owner, and of course, I am myself, Hina. And a little bit about me, just starting off. I do reside in Sydney, but I was born in the Philippines, and I grew up in California. So I've been bouncing around, different sides in the world, but definitely coming into where this is where it originated from my story. So I was born in the Philippines, and like everybody else, I'm sure that you've heard, everybody wants to go from the Philippines, go to a different country to make a better life for themselves, and that's what my family has done. And I'm truly blessed to be able to have the opportunity to go to a different country, and that is where pretty much where we blossomed to where we are today. But there was a lot of pressure in regards from moving from one country to another, the expectations from family, from them, saying that, hey, we've taken you to this new country, to the best place you can be, to make something of yourself. And as I was growing up, it was quite difficult to get into that because I'm just more of a ball of fire. I'm totally different from how my family can be. And so growing up, it was, again, super blessed. I'm not saying that it was anything crazy, but definitely as I grown up, I realized there's more to what my own story is. There was more beyond to what was expected of me. And so in 2016, I packed up and moved my family with my partner, because he's here from Australia, moved here to Australia, and really that's when my personal growth journey has started. Because I didn't have any family here, it's just his family. And that's really when you start looking into yourself when you're not around the same environment that you've been in for so many years, and things start rising up, where it was like, oh, I do have anger issues. Oh, I do have more than what I can do. I am stronger than I am. So it's a lot of things. And, I've had some family members say, why would you move somewhere else? Like, we came here to have a better life. Like, this is where you can be. But I knew I had a different calling. I knew there was more that God definitely had in me. I just didn't know it yet. It was just more like, trust the process, we get there. And about a couple of years ago, let's say about 3 years now, I started looking into, owning my own business. And I was like, what is it in me that's coming out? Like, I've had different jobs, and there's all these things that I wanted to do, but I wanted to impact people. I just didn't know how or where to kind of go with all of that. And so when I started my business a couple of years ago, that's really when the personal development heightened up. Because again, it's more like when you're in business for yourself, you start looking at, oh wow, like, can I do this? Am I good enough for this? Is this something that I can, develop in? Is this something that what I'm offering, do people want? Am I good enough to help people? Like, oh, it was just like a lot of rising, and it really helped me step into who I am. And about 2 years ago, I really looked into, I am three different people, in the sense where I'm Hina, who is just me. I am a business owner, when that's just like your business owner brain just turns on. And also, I'm a mom, which it all correlates together. But it was quite difficult to find out who I was, because when I started my business, it was like, hi, I'm a mom. Hi, hi, that was it. Like, that's what my identity was for a while. And then I was like, oh, I need to turn on my business owner. switch on. I was like, oh, hi, I'm a business owner, and da 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 da. But it was a lot of different expectation, and then it kind of I started forgetting who I was, like me, who I am as a Heinna, and I think that's what it more of like authentically who was I to come out in all of these things, because I'm not just a mom. Which I love, by the way. And I'm not just a business owner, which I love, by the way, because I feel like that's what's really helped me entice to where I can start connecting with people and helping people. But I'm also Heinna, who I am, that funny, goofy, just silliness, and just trying to incorporate all of that. But coming in from my story, it's just everything that I've been through in my life really showcased to who I became now. As a business owner, I have that switch onto it. It's like I get super organized, super OCD of just like things have to be on a list, things have to be on that. But because I think growing up, that was something that we had to do, like we were expected of things that. So when I became, and that really heightened up when I was in business as a business owner, because I needed to make sure everything was to the T, everything had to be done, and everything had to be set up and pre-planned. But it also helped me in becoming a mom. Growing up, it was a lot of you have to be like this, because if you don't do that, people are gonna think this, or oh, hey, you're the eldest, you have to do this, or hey, you're a girl, you have to do this. So as a mom, I've seen myself kind of highlighting that in my kids, and more than this year, kind of just pushing back, because I'm just like, you know what, as much as I want myself to be known as myself, I need to let my kids be known to who they want to be as themselves. So growing to be who they want to be. Yes, there's some things, as a parent, you look at, you're like, oh no, don't do that. Like, because they're your kids and you want the best, but they shine better when you let them, make the mistakes. Obviously, there's things that are like, oh, be careful, but you let them make the mistakes. You let them be who they are. So it's just like all those things that I've learned as I was growing up, it's all correlating to the things that I'm doing now. And of course, the part of just being Heinna is more of like everything that I've been through. I've always been trying to push out to be that ball of fire. And now that I can as an adult, I have no shame for it. I'm just like, you like it or you don't like it. And that's what it is, authentically being me, showing up as me, and knowing that I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that wants this push, that wants to, I don't want to say escape, because I'm not saying, I don't want to sound ungrateful for what I've had, but it's really just being like, I'm not the only one. There's some people out there that I can connect with. And it's crazy being online, you realize that, like, because in the environment you're in, you're capped into what the people that but being online, my God, people are like, oh, I've done that, or I've seen that. I'm just like, oh, see, like, I finally realized I'm not alone, and I'm not the only one. And it's such an amazing feeling, because, being 30 something now, I don't, you realize that, like, you were in a bubble, and popping away from that bubble is such an amazing feeling, and knowing that there's a new world out there, that there's people out there that you can connect with, and there's people out there that you can be with, definitely changes so much perspective. Even meeting you, Shannon, like I would have not known if it wasn't online. And like we connected, we got to talk, and I heard your story, and I was like, dang, like I'm not alone. Like, people have a story, people have something to say. And so everything that I've been through just kind of correlated, and this is the three things that I'm in. Again, I'm Heinna, I'm a business owner, and of course I am a mom. So it's like my story has really it's not the end. This is kind of just like a new start of a new beginning outside my bubble, where I was. And I'm super excited about it. So I'm glad that I got to meet you. And again, like this podcast is about, I'm not the only one. I'm sure there's hundreds of us out there that has this feeling, that felt the same way, and is really just wanting to help others and change the world, and really realize, like, hey, you're not the only one. You're not. There's all of us. There's this community that you can be with, that can definitely change you from, point A to Z to like beyond. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
What I like about being not the only one is putting yourself out there.
Yes.
To
Yes.
having connections with other
Yes.
people, because
Yes.
it all starts with you.
Correct.
The
Correct.
individual. And if we can get past that fear of
Yes.
staying closed in, or, being stuck in that bubble. If we can get past that fear of putting ourselves out there, there's a whole, like you said, there's a whole world out there that's just waiting to embrace us, and
Yeah,
wanting
yeah,
to share their stories and their
yes,
connections and
yeah,
friendships. And that's the thing with me, I have found by me doing this passion project of mine, I have connected with so many people all over the world, and it is
yeah.
amazing. I have opened up a whole new world for me by sharing my stories, speaking my truth.
I bet,
And
I
some of
bet.
my best friends now are literally all over the world. And I love
Yeah.
it's amazing. It's
Yep,
amazing.
yep, yep, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. No,
Hmm.
exactly. And I
Hmm.
think you don't again, you won't realize it or see it until you move yourself away from that bubble, until you remove yourself from the normal, quote unquote normal that you've been in. Because a lot of people that I have in my circle, they're still like, oh, what are you doing? What is this all about? It's like there's more outside the
There
world
is
of
more.
where you're at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when what's really sad is,
Mhm.
you've grown so much, I've grown so much, and then
Correct.
there's the people that you wish would grow with you, but everybody
Yes.
has their own timing, and I
Yes. Yes. Yes.
understand that,
Yes.
and you
Yeah.
understand that, but it's
Yeah.
really sad, and it can be very lonely, um
Yeah.
when you go forward,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there are times where you do have to leave those behind.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
and that,
think
and I
even
don't,
more.
and I don't know if it's more sad for me, or if I feel more sad for them. Do you ever think like that?
Yes, because what I've come to find is I've had opportunities myself that I've been given, and I didn't take advantage of it, or I didn't see it at that time. I thought about it, I was like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. And I looking back now, I'm like, oh my goodness, if I just started earlier, I could have been farther. But then, like you said, everybody has their own time, everybody has their own thing. And I'm sure the people that try to reintroduce me to the world of Pacifica, the world of all of this, they're like, oh, what a shame. But then I had to realize it, because if I tried to push myself at that time, it would have just broken differently. But I think you're right. Like everybody has time, and it does suck because it's just like, come with me. Like there's so much, all these greatness on this side, but everybody has their own time. And yeah, you're right. So not that, I don't want to say leave them behind as well, but really just be like, I'm on a different road now,
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
on this side now. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Through your whole process of what you've gone through and your experiences, what is the thing that really resonates with you the most? Um, the biggest thing that you've learned?
The bit of it that I'm resilient, because that is the biggest thing. It's always that question behind your head of like, can I do this? Am I good enough for this? How can I do this? But I think, I was always so scared to push through, and that more recently I pushed through so much barriers that, like this week I've had such a big week. Like if I had to actually sit back yesterday and like, oh my God, this week is such a big week. But because I've gained that resilience of like, okay, something bad happens, let's go to the next thing. Something bad, like there's no more waiting, and I think that's something that I've learned, that like, yes, things are gonna happen. I have no control of what others do, but I have control of what I do. I have control of what I say and what I put out there. And I definitely have made a lot of mistakes. And instead of feeling bad, because that's what I used to do, you feel bad and you're like, oh no, like I did that. I pushed through. Like I'm more resilient now. Like I've apologized. I've done, I've repented. I've done the things that I needed to do, because I know there's more for me to do. So that's one of the biggest things that I have learned through all of these things. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, somebody that's gone through the experiences that you have,
Mhm.
what advice would you give to them?
I definitely would have to say push through, because that's, again, I think with any trauma or anything that you've gone through, or people that are trying to pull you back to into your bubble, just push through and, because there is that light on the other side of the tunnel. And I know people, it's so cliche, but there is. But I think again, people are so scared to leave their bubble because their bubble is just so comfy and so nice. And so, but it's just kind of like that thing that Einstein said, where she's like doing the same thing over and over and wanting a different result. It's insanity, and that's what you're going to be doing in your bubble over and over and over. But push through, pop that bubble indefinitely. There's a lot of things outside that bubble that you'll see that you'll learn from. There'll be bumps, but definitely worth it.
Mhm. Well, and the biggest thing is too, is, anybody that's listening to us, we've got out of our comfort zone, which would be, out
Yes.
of our bubble or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And how we've grown. You and I, even just talking,
Yeah.
how we
Correct.
connected, like across the
Yeah.
world. That right there is
Yeah.
where we're
Yeah.
living proof right here, you know.
Yeah. Correct.
So just look at it, for what it is
Yeah.
and push. Yeah,
Correct.
you're right, for
Yeah.
sure. Um, Now, where are you now in your life?
In my life, I definitely in the new chapter. I come from my whatever I had to do to growing up. I had to go through my trauma, and then I had to feel my trauma. And this year alone, like I had a couple of months to really focus on where do I want to be. So they're definitely starting. I would even say it was this week. Starting this week is the next chapter. I'm in the new phase where I am not just focused on myself, but more on like how can I help others do the same. Mainly starting off with my kids, because I wanted to show up for them better. So what I've been doing is that I had to make myself better for me to show up for them. So I'm in my life right now. I'm definitely in the I want to help. I'm in the I want to get into the I want to meet with people again, like talk to people again and really engage and help in the best way that I can. And it's such a great feeling. And I forgot how it was because I was just so in my bubble. But now, I mean, in my own self growth. And now that, okay, now I'm confident in who I am. I can say I'm Heinna, I'm a business owner, I'm a mom without feeling afraid. Like I feel like there's more and beyond that I can do now. But definitely the new chapter is to help others. That's where I am.
Is there any final words that you would like to say to the audience? Any final advice?
Yeah, I think that what I would love to tell everybody is that it's okay to not know what to do next. Because in the end, none of us do. As again, like I just said 2 minutes ago, that I'm so confident that I'm this. Do I know what my next step is all the time? No. And it's okay. Because in the end, with prayers and surrounding yourself with the right people, things will like what's for you will be for you. So nothing will ever change. And like I love how you even say, Shannon, like your ideas and how you want to grow all of this. That's a whole community that will help you and back you up. And the whole point is that you're not alone. So it's okay to not know the next step because you're going to have people around you that has been through it, that knows what the next step is, and all you really have to do is ask for help. And then again, it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I want to thank you for being a guest on my podcast. I absolutely
Thank you.
loved getting to know you through the meet and greet and
Yep.
now being on the podcast. And
Yeah,
it's
thank
absolutely
you.
wonderful. So thank you for being
Yeah.
a part of my journey.
Oh no, thank you for allowing me. So that's the amazing part of it all.
Well, you have an absolutely wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.